Yo, what is up, guys? So we have an amazing deck for you guys to try out and also show you guys some replays so you guys can see some of the combos. This is going to be an Immortal Quasar Brandish Tengu deck. I know it's a really long name and it sounds weird, and I thought when I was looking through some of my replays, by the way, shout out to YGOPRO here, we're building this amazing deck, and I was like, dude, this probably isn't even viable, why would you mix them? But it actually works quite well because the Brandish Maidens are all about having no cards in the main monster zones, and if you're building a Quasar deck, you're going to have to invest all your stuff into that Quasar Dragon, therefore you usually don't have any other monsters anyways. But with this simple combo, all you need is basically Tengu plus any tuner, and you're going to go straight into Needle Fiber, and that's going to give you an extra Tengu, and then you just spell some, of course, Glow Bulb, and then you're just ready to go on. Now, in this instance, his opponent just rage quits, but because of Ego Booster, which is a searchable card in Brandish, because, well, you know, Brandish needs to search out everything, because that's kind of the way the archetype works. You have access to making it so you get to target a face-up monster. It's unaffected by card effects, and then on top of that, if you have 3 more spells in your graveyard, which you probably will because you're going to be going through some cards, of course, to make the Quasar in the first place, you can make it so it can't be destroyed by battle. So it's immune to everything and can't be destroyed by battle. Therefore, that's how you build the Immortal shooting Quasar Dragon. And I got a few different replays for you guys. This one, I'm assuming this guy's playing the new relinquished Link monster that just came out. But anyways, it doesn't really matter what your opponent is playing. If you make a Quasar Dragon that is immortal, it's kind of like a Towers. Now, keep in mind though, guys, it is technically with the Eagle Booster card over here. It is that turn. However, you're more than likely going to negate something with the first effect of it anyways. Then when they go for their other play to try to stop you, you just activate Eagle Booster and you're immune for the rest of the turn. And if it's going back to your turn after you've negated like minimum 2+ cards, at that point, you've probably won the game because you're going to still have the negate from the Quasar on your turn. Plus, you can go ahead and search out another copy of Eagle Booster anyways, whether you're excavating it or if you're just activating the Brandish Startup Engage. You just got to add any Brandish card. So you can search out the card that makes that Quasar immortal. Now, he goes for a Phoenix over here, going to destroy the back row, but back row is going to go ahead and protect the Quasar. And at this point, the guy can't win. I mean, you make an Immortal Quasar Dragon, and look how many cards he has. I mean, he's able to draw so many cards because of that combo. When you go for Needle Fiber plus double Librarian, you're going to draw 3 cards. So you're going to hopefully draw into at least something that's going to give you some advantage. But that's not it. There's still more to this deck, and I'll show you guys some of the gameplay here that doesn't go straight up for Quasar. Now, this duel over here, he's unable to actually make it. Because his opponent is going to be using Deck Devastation Virus, which is actually a really good card against this deck. But I want to show you guys a few scenarios where you just don't have access to making it because, well, your opponent, they activate some hand trap, they activate something that completely disrupts your play. Like, for example, Ghost Ogre here. But you have the Eagle Booster to actually protect it, so that's pretty good. But again, there's another card that's going to stop him in his play. So he already got stopped technically once already in this play, and we're going to see a Deck Devastation Virus, which is going to completely destroy him because, well, majority of things in the brand, well, in this build, there's a lot of tuners and stuff, and most of the tuners are just like level, like, you know, 4 or under, so they're not going to have high stats. So Deck Devastation Virus is a really nasty card to run into, but it gets even worse for him because he's got the Topologic Dragon, but he's attributing it for the Eradicator Epidemic Virus. And so all he's got is a Shadow Token, but he's going to be, of course, making a comeback, otherwise there wouldn't be a good play over here. But the Brandish Maiden archetype is good for a few different reasons in the Quasar deck. Now, the reason why it's so good is you just need that one Ray, which is the only monster we have as of right now. Keep in mind that we're probably going to get more support. I'm assuming we're going to get a link for like a Dark, a Light, probably one of the elements. The deck is very new, and it's actually pretty viable right now in the competitive game. They're mixing in a few different things. Keep in mind also, if you're looking up the name, they were formerly known as the Strikeblade Valkyries, Strikeblade Maidens, and then the Strikeblade Valkyries, Brandish Maidens, whatever they eventually name it in the TCG. But anyways, yeah, it's actually a pretty viable deck. Now, unfortunately, he draws a bunch of cards that he can't really use access to at the moment. But just one Maiden is basically access to a lot of different things because not only does it have power for you to come back after, let's say, your opponent goes off, but you're able to actually just tag out and just do a lot of damage over here. So in that instance, he got wrecked pretty hard for a few turns with all those viruses here. I know Noble Knights isn't the most meta of things, but I just wanted to showcase off a few different variety of duels. The most meta one I think in this is probably like the Layer of Darkness one. But again, if you're playing against this deck, I would say if the person makes a Quasar that is immortal, you're pretty much not going to be winning. The only way would be like well, I mean, if it's unaffected by card effects, good luck trying to do very much to it. There might be like someone's gonna be like, what if you Exodia? Okay, fine, you win at that point. But anyways, we got the needle fiber, and then it's gonna be like the bread and butter combo over here. I believe this duel. There's another duel where like there's a little bit of play over here. Like the guy sacks him with one of the Noble Knight cards. It's like pretty open. I think it's last chapter. It might be this duel, or it might be the other one. There's 2 duels in here, but anyways, yeah, like I mentioned before, being able to activate the brandish cards is really easy because it's just if you control no monsters in your main zones, you're able to do something. And if you're activating the Eagle Strike, or if you activate a different card, and Eagle Strike's already in the graveyard because you activated it, like maybe previously, the multi-roll will actually let you you can set brandish spells with different names from your graveyard up to the number of brandish spell cards you activated this turn. So you can technically recycle it, and that's how you basically kind of keep the Immortal Quasar rolling, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to use the Eagle on their turn, and then on your turn, obviously Quasar can negate to protect itself, then you activate any of the other brandish cards, and then you can use multi-roll to reset it. So basically you can kind of, you don't really need to like go on for more than like one turn with it, but if you really want to keep that Immortal Quasar going, multi-roll will definitely be there for you. Okay, I think this is the duel over here, so like he completely destroyed his opponent. But this is the duel where there's not a Quasar in play, because, well, I mean, things stop you from making your play. So he's going to go ahead and use the multi-roll, and then he's going to go straight into Kagari. This card's really good, so you can target a brandish spell card in graveyard and recycle it, adding it back to your hand. And then obviously with multi-roll, you're able to reset stuff, and then again, right now he's got Tengu, and basically the combo in this is to summon a tuner and summon a reborn Tengu. And there is also Tengu to search out your Tengu, so there's a little bit of like leniency with like what you can search out in the deck. I also think Upstart Goblin would be a great addition, and once I go over the deck profile for you guys can kind of see the deck and maybe tweak it to your liking. But a lot of cards search out other cards, for example, Reborn Tengu searchable, you have the red resonator, and it's just to add spells into the graveyard, which is important because all of the brandish cards, if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, they don't even have to be brandish, you actually get a bonus effect, so it really helps out the Quasar archetype, or I guess Synchros in general, although this one, I would say it's pretty much just Quasar, because you are kind of tight on extra deck space because, well, I mean, you gotta have, of course, like multiple copies of the other Strikeblade Valkyries or the brandish Maidens. So he's gonna go ahead and go for it. I'm going to draw going equivalent with Excalibur, but we're going to go ahead and start drawing some extra cards, drawing 3 cards. I was actually thinking hand traps might not be that bad of an idea to add into this deck, but having the extra destruction can kind of force out negations before, of course, you're going to go for your big boy play, which is, of course, the Tengu +1 tuner, and then from there, you're just going to be making Quasar, drawing 3 cards, and then hopefully at some point you're able to search out Eagle Booster. Again, this is what's going to give you that Immortal Quasar. I guess we'll show off the last duel over here, and I'll give you guys the deck profile for those of you guys that do want to build it. It's interesting, and I always like interesting decks. I would love to know how you guys feel about this. Do you guys think it's viable? I definitely think it has a lot of potential, depending on what other support we get for the Brandish Maidens, because keep in mind, it's a very new archetype. But there's also, like, really insane cards, like Brandish Mecha Widow Armor. You get to target an effect monster, and it has its effects negated. So basically, you got like a Veiler, and then if you have 3 or more spells, you can actually take control of that monster until the end phase. So if it happens to be a tuner, maybe you can go straight into that. You can just summon the Tengu, go straight into that play again where you're making the Quasar. And there's really very little things that stop spells in the game that a lot of decks will just throw out instantly. So that's pretty good stuff indeed, and I think that it will be much stronger once we get like the other ones, because as of right now, we only got 2 extra deck cards, and we only have 1 Brandish Maiden, but you guys already know what's about to happen here with, of course, the Glow Up Bolt. In this one, we got a Steam Token combo here, so he's going to go ahead and make the Topologic Dragon, and he's going to go ahead and set the multi-row. He's got the armor, so he can technically negate any monster effect that would come out, and then also potentially just take in his opponent's like, dude, I drew the Abyss Ragnarok, so that is GG over there. So let me go ahead and give you guys the deck profile for those of you guys that are interested. I'd love to hear your guys' suggestions on editing this deck, but let's go ahead and give you guys the deck profile. So we got 3 copies of Tengu, 3 copies of Maiden Ray, we have 1 Steam the Cloak, we have Mecha Phantom Beast O-Line, 3 copies of Red Resonator, 1 Jet Synchron, 1 Glow Up Bulb, 3 Resonator Call, 1 Jamming Wave, we have Soul Charge, 3 copies of Startup Engage, 2 copies of Afterburner, 3 copies of course, the thing that makes Sir Quasar immortal, Brandish Mecha Shark Cannon, then we have 2 copies of Brandish Mecha Hornet Bit, 2 copies of Widow Armor, 2 copies of Multi-Roll, 3 copies of Tenki, 1 copy of Hercules Base, 3 copies of Area Zero. Now I wanted to mention, I'm sure it was shown on the replay, but I didn't talk about it, but this card is actually kind of important because what you're going to do is you can target another card you control, you activate the top 3 cards of your deck, you can add 1 activated Brandish card from your hand, also shuffle the rest back into the deck. But if a Brandish card was excavated, send the targeted card to the graveyard. So what this allows you guys to do is basically search out another card, but also it lets you put this card that is going to stick on the board. I mean, I know it gives you 100 stats, but that's mediocre. It's not that big of a deal. It's actually more important to have another spell in the graveyard to get your bonus Brandish effects, because I mean, the main part of Ego Booster making it immune to all the card effects to give you that Immortal Quasar. The third effect on this one, it's really rare that your opponent's going to get a 4,000 attacker, but you know what, I mean, in the off chance that they somehow make, of course, Utopia, which is a very common card, you're able to, of course, deal with that, and then, well, that's not going to have any material, so you should just go attack into it next turn, and you have Quasar. And then on top of that, again, keep in mind if you want to recycle the stuff with multi-roll and then get back Ego Booster, that's a pretty self-explanatory combo, I should explain that. Anyways, for the extra deck, we got the Shooting Quasar Dragon, we got Shooting Star Dragon, and we got 2 copies of Librarian, 1 Formula, 1 Topologic Dragon, 1 Firewall Dragon, Decode Talker, 2 copies of Needle Fiber, 4 copies of Kagari, and 3 copies of Shizuku. I'm sorry, 2 copies of Shizuku. But as far as the deck goes, let me know, guys, what you think of it. I'd love to hear your guys' suggestions and shoutouts once again to YGOPRO for building this deck. If you guys want to check him out, I'll leave his link also there in the description. That's a very innovative deck. I like it. I like Quasar Dragon. It's one of my favorites. And I mean, there is probably more plays to this deck that you guys can actually think about trying, but I think overall, probably, I mean, Immortal Quasar is basically game over for your opponent. And it's cool. I really missed Reborn Tengu. This card was so meta for so long. Like, every deck was just like, oh, throw triple Reborn Tengu in the deck. It was good. It legitimately was like one of those, it was like Tour Guide. It's like, throw it in every deck, go for it. And just hasn't seen any play. You know what's interesting with the OCG? They actually also finally put Reborn Tengu in multiple. It was at like 2, I believe, for a really long time, but it works really well with Needle Fiber, and I'm surprised no one has actually talked about it until I've seen this. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the vid. If you did, drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button for more unique and innovative Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks.